for Gavin Newsom because that is a dangerous proposition. There is a reason those right-wing freaks currently favor Gavin Newsom over JD Vance. And it's not just because they hate JD Vance and think he's a little piggy, although he is. It's because they're thinking long-term. Gavin Newsom, the difference between him and Trump right now, substantively on policy, really not that different. Because Gavin Newsom is running on locking in the fascist agenda. He doesn't want to tax billionaires. He's not going to get rid of ICE. He doesn't want to talk about trans people. He doesn't talk about universal health care. He's not going to cut military funding. He's not going to change policy on Venezuela. He's just going to be a handsome version of Trump, a blue version of red. And those right-wing freaks know that he's not going to fix the fundamental problems that led to fascism. He's not going to solve inequality. He's not going to make life better for the average American. He certainly doesn't give a shit about black and brown people. And he ends up setting the table for something much worse to come after him. After he is just a neoliberal failure, they can bring in something that makes Trump look cute. So I don't know why you're surprised that Hassan would not support Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I mean, I literally said, I think what is often misunderstood about a lot of my comments is that Gavin Newsom will oversee the complete fascist takeover of American politics. Like, this was a major problem with Joe Biden in 2020. A lot of people think, oh, it's because Joe Biden was old. Sure, Joe Biden's age played a major role in this, but it also was Joe Biden and his administration's inability to address all of these longstanding issues around affordability, all of these longstanding issues around affordability that pertain to healthcare, that even pertain to a more tolerant pathway towards amnesty, a more tolerant pathway towards migration, refusing to address it outright, refusing to address the housing crisis outright. These are the reasons as to why fascism keeps brewing, especially in the absence of alternatives like socialism. This is the problem. They get triggered and latch on to you think they're the exact same. I don't even care. I know that they're not the exact same, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter at all. And I don't care if they say, Hassan, you're privileged, you're wealthy, you represent the interests of the wealthy, you just want Trump to win so you can make money. I don't care if they say that. It's wrong, and they're lying, and they can keep lying all day, every day. Perhaps this kind of lie makes them feel a little bit more comfortable about their inability to address these issues. That's what it is. A big part of the enmity, a big part of the animosity, a big part of the anger and resentment that comes from these centrist, libtarded, establishment Democrat adjacent content creators who just want a fraction of the center of power in the Democratic Party and hopefully some checks down the line. The reason why these guys do this centrist, neoliberal, third-way neoliberalism argumentation is because ultimately they do not care about what happens. They don't want to actually do an autopsy on why Kamala Harris lost. They don't want to do an autopsy on why Joe Biden was seen as an abject failure. They don't want to do an autopsy on why Hillary Clinton lost. That's it. If they really believed in compromise, they would be compromising their position towards you. They just want to be Republicans. I know they want to be Republicans, but also still maintain the moral superiority of not voting for the Republicans. That's precisely the reason why they love when Republicans advance the same fascist agenda against the very same people that these guys talk about as a talking point whenever the harm reduction conversation comes around. These are the same liberals that turn around and say, I'm calling my neighbors, my Latino neighbors who voted for Trump, I'm calling ICE on them. It's that mentality where it's like, I get to literally participate in this like fascist action, this fascist militancy, without actually having the moral baggage and the association with said fascist militancy. I get to feign moral superiority while simultaneously allowing this fascist regime to do whatever it wants. It's always this. Democrats courting Republicans. Ooh, we'll do anything for your votes. We'll be happy to compromise on anything. Democrats courting the left. We owe you shitheads nothing. Vote for us or you're personally responsible for the rise of fascism, you idiots. When people say, Hassan, you're presenting this false dichotomy, you're making it seem as though there's no difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. I am angry at the Democrats presenting themselves as that. And what's really funny, better yet, what's really funny about all this back and forth is that these people keep saying, Hassan, you're only popular because Trump is president. Hassan, your popularity stems from you constantly shitting on the Democrats. doesn't that imply that the Democrats are unimaginably popular? Do you not realize why the Democrats are unimaginably popular? Perhaps you should listen to what I am saying. Perhaps you should listen to what I'm saying about why the Democrats are unimaginably popular, because that's my argument. That's it. Unimaginably unpopular. Sorry, did I say popular? And it's like, it's also these like dumbass, like liberal adjacent content creators as well. This is a bad argument from Hassan. Democrats are rainbow capitalists. Trans people have much stronger legal protections. I'm dying. Is there ever going to be a point where we have a normal conversation where people understand, or is it just going to be shit stirring over and over again? Why bother learning from our mistakes when we can just relive the 2016 election cycle all over again every year? I know. I do not want Republicans to win. These guys, whether they recognize it or not, make Republicans win all the time. All of our candidates are good. Hillary was good. Joe was good. Kamala was good. The next candidate will be good. The problem is y'all want a perfect candidate, not a good one. And you're weirdly comfortable with throwing vulnerable people under the bus if you don't get one. This last year has been Democratic Party consultants desperately trying to figure out how to reach young men over and over again, being like, oh, perhaps we were being so disingenuous in our identity politics laden commentary. Perhaps that was an ineffective messaging strategy. Perhaps we should go on the Joe Rogan Experience. All of these conversations took place already. And now all it took was for some leftist bro-coded guy to turn around and say, sorry, Gavin Newsom sucks. We need something better. And the people are demanding something better. And Gavin Newsom is either not going to win, or if he were to be the candidate and then eke out a marginal victory, what comes after is going to be even more heinous than what we have seen. This is what the cycle has been for the last 50 years at this point, especially post Ronald Reagan. This is what has been the cycle. Third way neoliberalism that locks in Republican deregulation, that locks in Republican tax cuts for the super wealthy. This doesn't mean that like the Democrats are not, the Democrats are unsalvageable, or they cannot have good candidates that we can use. This doesn't mean that at all. You can. Zoran is a great example of this. AOC is a good example of this as well.